welcome. Thank you for being here. You could have picked anywhere in the world, and you're right here with us. So we appreciate it. Coming down to Wind, Reel, and Print with me, Kevin, and
me, Ryan. That was a great opening, and I wanted to I wanted to butcher the landing, so I apologize for that.
No, comedic timing is
but
perfect.
I agree. Could be anywhere right now.
Yeah.
Why aren't you?
Why aren't you anywhere right now? Don't you got something better to do?
Hey, I hope while you're listening, you're also cleaning your bedroom.
Yeah.
Whoever's listening to this.
Yeah.
You know you need to do it. Maybe do a workout.
Or driving to work or something.
You think about yourself right now. Can you turn this into a meditation?
Yeah.
You know?
All right.
Take a walk.
Deep breath in. Deep breath out.
Yeah, that'd be good. A good movie-based meditation service.
Yeah. Calm the senses.
Yeah.
All right. What do you see?
Are you Casablanca calm? If not,
At SF State, they have a Casablanca room.
what does that mean?
It's just like a themed study room.
Oh,
They have like stuff painted on the walls.
for the movie Casablanca?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's fun.
Like the bar. Kind of set up like the bar-ish.
Oh, I like it.
Oops. Yeah. It's fun. We like movies over here.
Yeah, I guess so. I
Yeah.
guess
It's a thing.
There's people at your school that like movies. That's
Yeah.
strange to me. I don't know what to tell you.
Got a whole program
Yeah.
built around it. It's pretty wild.
Wait, they teach this in school?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Oh no.
It's kind of new, but it's catching on, you know?
Yeah. People are saying the movies are back.
Yeah. Come back, baby.
We're not even
Back from the dead.
We're not even talking about what we're supposed to talk about today because we don't need to.
Kind of the point, I think.
That's what this pod's about.
Yeah.
We ramble, we run,
Right.
and eventually we do.
It's experimental.
It's experimental.
Yeah.
You know, you might say we're a little animated right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a little animated.
Caffeinated.
Yeah.
The caffeine's coursing through my
Yeah.
veins.
But I've always thought, you know, what would happen if you got a little experimental and a little animated?
Yeah.
I guess
Combining those two
combining those
things.
two seems interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that on a future episode.
How does that come through? All right. Welcome to Wine, Reel, and Print.
That's
My
a great
name
idea.
is Kevin.
My name is Ryan. And today we're going to talk about...
Experimental animation.
There we go. We did it. That's how you land a ship, folks, with your partner in crime. But really, here to talk about experimental animation. We both were kind of looking at this episode wondering, like,
How in
How?
the world?
are we qualified to say anything?
Right. Because, I mean, we don't even have an animation episode yet.
No.
So what's our like foundation of like this conversation?
No,
I guess this is the foundation.
This is the deepest end you can get
Yeah.
in a lot of ways
Right.
are these four. One isn't, I guess, we chose it. Why did we choose early abstractions? You want to speak on that as our first, and I'll say early abstractions directed by Harry Smith and also created by Harry Smith in 1965 and it was a collection of short animated films.
Yep.
This Harry Smith was legendary as a very experimental animator, pushed the medium forward in a lot of ways. And so we watched it ended up being about 23 minutes
Right.
of really interesting animation. Like taking it, trying it, doing new things. But
Yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah, I think it was important for me to get in some sort of early experimental stuff like this or Stan Brakhage type of like experimental animation. In terms of, because when we do these sorts of episodes, we try to get like the early form, the peak, and then like the late, you know, representation of the end sort of a deal. So when we think of like the beginnings of experimental animation, I feel like we have to think of these sorts of things.
We definitely
Just
this
shapes
episode,
and colors and stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
This episode is psychedelic.
Oh yeah.
We
all
definitely
the way through.
Yeah, exactly. If
It's heavily influenced by
Yeah.
that era of visuals and stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it could even be like experimental psychedelic animation because it definitely fills that, and we run through what people were thinking and
Right.
design in the 60s and 70s.
Right.
And then we do a hard leap forward to insanity.
True.
Absolutely insane. Like, oh my God, just well, the second thing we're going to watch or talk about, second thing we watched.
Right.
After, I guess both of these came out in 1973.
Yeah.
Didn't they?
Quite odd.
Yeah. So what's the second one that's on the list?
Belladonna of Sadness, a Japanese film. Kind of another like fairy tale-esque thing. Vampire-esque. But yeah, super psychedelic. Like probably the most overtly psychedelic.
Yeah.
When it comes to that era of like psychedelic imagery and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would say out of all of them, besides the early abstractions, this one's the most experimental when it comes to, because I saw like imagery and style in ways I had never seen done before.
Sure, yeah.
And maybe
just like in the form.
the form was very experimental.
Yeah. Like still images with the panning.
Yeah, lots of that. Lots of, I mean, to speak on this just for a second, like there is a sexual assault scene.
Yeah.
And the way it was portrayed in a very minimal animated quality. Mm-hmm. I'd never seen done like that, but it was visceral.
Right. Definitely got that reaction.
Yeah. It's very, very interesting. There's a lot of kind of visceral
imagery and stuff.
Imagery, exactly.
Yeah.
Very visceral imagery.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
In this one.
Very sexual.
Yes, extremely. What's number 3?
Number 3, same year. This time French. Fantastic Planet. Mm-hmm. So you're getting a little different worldviews, I guess, in a way.
Yeah. And I think Fantastic Planet, that one's the most ubiquitous out of all of these. I think a lot of people know about Fantastic Planet.
Yeah.
That one's definitely the top of the popularity scale of these 4.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Highly influential. A lot of people know about it.
Yeah.
I did see it at the Roxy at one point, too.
Oh, wow.
So,
and
big.
yeah, and it uses where Belladonna of Sadness is like watercolors.
Right.
And that's just crazy. This one is a very like I'm looking over at my Garden of Earthly Delights by Hieronymus Bosch style thing. It takes that kind of style. The drawing itself is a little different, but in terms of like the world and leaning into like that absolutely insane
like
direction.
Stuff, yeah.
You definitely get that in Fantastic Planet.
Yeah, like Dr. Seuss level like abstractions with the animals and stuff like that.
Yeah, very like grounded in its like presentation, but fantastical in what it presents.
Right. Yeah. Like the aliens, because it is a alien world. Yeah.
Yep.
The space world. Whatever.
Yeah.
Fantastic Planet, obviously. Yeah.
Fantastic Planet.
All right.
Planète Sauvage.
Yeah. Planète Sauvage.
Lastly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. I didn't realize. Yeah. Big jump. 50 years forward.
Huge jump in a totally different format.
Yeah.
But it feels like someone doing something wild and crazy in the modern day. What does that look like? This is a perfect choice.
Absolutely. Yeah, a little bit more of a narrative, I guess. Or I guess they kind of, except for early abstractions, they kind of have narratives.
Yeah.
This one's Phil Tippett's Mad God.
Bay Area.
Yeah, Bay Area. Shout out.
Bay Area.
Shot in Berkeley, mixed in San Francisco. But this one was also like made over decades. So yeah, there is a level of, it does still feel old in a way. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like a 2020 movie, if that makes sense.
I mean, yeah.
If whatever that means, yeah.
Phil Tippett has an animation style
Yeah.
that is very I don't know if grounded, but it's very past.
Yeah. Like no one's doing this anymore.
Yeah, and even what's like the way stop motion is now, it's so much more clean and even like so much more digitized now. I'm thinking of like Kubo and the Two Strings,
Sure.
or Coraline, or
Pinocchio.
yeah. We're talking about like really crisp, clean, trying its best to look like a 3D film. You watch this, it's nasty and gross and physical.
Yeah.
And that it's like throwing like mud on paper and then forming it into something, and then also throwing trash on it and then building something out of that,
and slime
and all of these things. And that's how you get the Mad God.
Yeah.
Or
That's
Mad
great.
Man. Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. So let's go back in time to where we started this conversation, or the abstractions. I felt when I watched this, all 23 minutes, I was like, this is what you put on at a party on your TV.
Yeah.
When you got people over, it is just strange imagery back to back.
Yeah. Like shapes and colors,
And not just like frame by frame different, but they move and they form and they coalesce and they separate and they grow and they shrink. And there is, if you watch it, there is movement that makes sense and transforming. There's a couple cuts in it, obviously, because there were multiple short films all kind of like stitched together, cut together. And so that's very clearly like the thing that makes it experimental and just a lot less. There's no story.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could really try.
No,
if you really wanted to. Stop it, Kevin. If
there's
you really
no story.
No, stop it. Stop it.
There's no story at all.
The big block becomes a small block.
No way.
That's story.
It's just...
What's story, Kevin? Besides big block becomes small block.
True.
Green color become red color.
You know, that's a great point. I didn't think of it in that way.
Yeah.
But before you said block, But now that you put it in that context.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You should really just
reconsider. Yeah.
Reconsider.
Yeah.
Take a seat. Stay in your lane. But yeah, no, it's you'd have to be on drugs to find something in this.
Yeah.
But I bet someone has.
That's the point. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. No, but it was interesting. You were watching someone throw material on a page, but think about it in a continuum. Yeah. It wasn't just a painting.
Right.
It
very
was
much intentional.
Very much intentional. Yeah. And animated. And so you see how they know movement.
Right.
Harry Smith knows how these things need to move around and grow and transform. And
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
The form. Yeah.
And so that's what makes it different. That's what makes animation not just a montage of paintings,
because you're doing it frame by frame.
Yeah,
you're creating these images.
Yeah,
that takes a level of skill and
and even knowing to have movement that doesn't feel jittery.
Right. It's all smoothed over. Yeah.
If you watching it, it does feel like, especially when a block moves around, it moves in a way that just feels like a natural way to move. You know, it's not just like bloop, 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 bloop. It's not a screensaver.
Yeah, it really emphasizes the Kuleshov effect, or in terms of how
you got there before me. Damn it!
The shot versus shot, influences the next thing.
Yes,
and can invite the illusion of movement or life.
Yes,
I think that's going to be a theme, is how the shots can create life. Yes. Or create the notion of life in animation.
That's a really good way to put it, especially with the next one we'll talk about. That one. Yeah, right. that one I think requires the biggest stretch.
Right. Of you're putting a lot into it.
They're expecting the audience to really lean in on this one. Yeah, for sure. On that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so next time anyone's at a party with me, you'll see this. You can find it on YouTube. Check it out. It's just a cool.
It's fun.
It's just cool looking. Yeah. I don't know what to say.
And 20 minutes,
Yeah.
Just check it out.
Super simple. Just put it on. Early Abstractions by Harry Smith.
Yeah.
But you can see just no computer. Actually, I have no idea how much if they did anything in any sort of digital process, but I think it is all
film.
Yeah, all film. And I don't even know what you could do digitally back then. It would have to be like really insane.
Yeah, I don't think that was until like the 70s
that they actually got like I don't even think
imaging.
consumer grade, but yeah, maybe even like just computer imaging at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the monitor didn't even,
because I know there was some company did like a sample for Star Wars,
oh, did they?
like a digital like plane fight.
Oh,
or
interesting.
Ship fight. Yeah.
Yeah. You're talking like X-Wings and TIE fighters? Sort
Yeah,
of thing?
yeah, yeah. It's on the Corridor channel. They did an episode
Oh, cool.
talk about this. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it to them.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to hear about anyone else on the internet. Okay, I'm putting my foot down. It's only us.
Only that. Yeah.
But yeah, so early abstractions.
Yep. It's great. I mean, yeah, it was just, a watch.
Yeah.
What did I put? What did I say? This is what plays in my mind when someone gives me directions.
Yeah, that's a really bad sign. That makes me really terrified. Like I have a lot of thoughts about that. That's yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really bad.
Yeah, nothing to add there.
ADD is crazy.
Yeah. And folks, Kevin's got ADD. Like, if it hasn't come through, in between recording sessions, Kevin is doing like basketball. What do you call like when you're in like a practice, like doing like rounds? No, I'm talking about like when you run around the court and stuff, like doing. Oh man, there's a term for it. I know you were taking shots, but I was. Oh man, God, it's so hard when you can't find a word.
Like workout?
No, stop. I'm never gonna find it. Oh, not cycles. Oh God. Let's move on. Belladonna of Sadness.
Yeah.
1973, Japanese.
I know. What a movie.
What a movie. It felt like it was going to be fun at first, and then it wasn't fun.
Was not fun.
Was not fun.
Yeah, I was not expecting anything like this.
Yeah, basically, it's a rape revenge movie.
Yeah, basically.
I liked the way you talked about vampires. It definitely has like that quality to it. And basically you follow a character that is raped and then ends up getting basically powers from like a demon that also rapes her.
Right. And she's like given up by the queen, right? For that or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, like separated from her husband.
Oh, yes.
By the lordship or whatever.
Yeah, basically the husband became the tax collector
yeah.
and then did a bad job, got his hand cut off.
Right.
And then was sent to war or something like that. Was sent out, and then it was basically like she was left.
Yeah.
Left around, or maybe he actually stayed. He might have actually stayed in Ben. No, I don't know. But all the men left. At least all the military-aged men left, and it was the Belladonna. Ended up like kind of like through her charms and magic, basically had convinced everyone to kind of like be with her, follow her, and the queen didn't like that, and then we get to even more terrible things that happen. But yeah, so awful subject matter, and awful in that way.
But pretty.
But it was beautiful. And it, Kevin, you alluded to it a little bit, but there were a lot of shots of where you basically, it was like if you were to imagine like a tapestry almost, and like taking the camera and just panning over it, and knowing that you're going to pan, so you draw in such a way that it like
extends out.
It extends out, but also like if it's supposed to give the idea of like a camera pushing in, which at one point it does,
right?
And it's like pushing into a crowd of people. The crowd slowly gets larger as you're panning. So if you were to look at the whole tapestry, you would just see like small people on the right, big people on the left. But when you're moving and you add like that kind of movement onto it, it adds that interesting thing. Yeah, the interesting illusion.
Yeah.
And there was a number of things like that where basically it would just like pan across different images and gives the illusion that there's actual movement.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like having movement within a still image
Yeah.
too. Like combining different elements of movement and stillness within each frame or movement of frame or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like the camera is doing a lot of work this time around.
Right.
Where like early abstractions just like static.
And the animation is within the frame.
Yeah. And the animation's doing all the work. This time it's almost they end up like when the action comes, they end up like animating it and it feels like a full-fledged
like animation movie.
Where a lot like especially for a lot of the beginning, it's just still images.
Yeah.
People talking, no mouths moving.
It's taking its time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it gets violent and the sexual assault comes, that's when it really starts to move.
Yeah. I could see where it's like expressing control versus freedom in a way, in terms of form.
Yeah.
The form reflecting the story. Like just being able to move after standing up or whatever, or yeah. In a way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like it. I mean, I think you can pull a lot of things out of this.
Yeah. Definitely. I definitely saw the vampire thing. That was a huge,
it makes a lot of sense.
Thing that I saw.
Yeah.
Similar like story elements and visual images and stuff like that.
Yeah. I feel like, I certainly yet have not seen like a vampire revenge movie.
Yeah.
Like where the vampire's trying to get revenge on someone.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thought.
Gotta write it.
Yeah. It's gotta exist.
I'm sure there's something.
There's something. But
yeah. But your own version.
But my own.
Yeah.
My own version. Yeah. Very, very cool animation style. I liked it a lot. And the acting felt super strange and didn't match it.
Sure.
Like in a lot of ways. Like it felt just like and maybe it's just like, because anime, obviously it's Japanese animation. And so Japanese anime of the 80s and 90s and beyond feels like this too. And maybe it might even just be the Japanese language on like this sort of medium,
right?
Or however it goes.
However they're doing it.
But it definitely is just like, wow, there's way too much energy for what like I'm
the
seeing.
Thing is doing.
And even what the character looks like, the voices don't really match. And
right.
It's strange.
It's probably like their theater tradition too.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And so, like, from a very American Caucasian perspective,
right?
It was just like, oh man, it was an afterthought.
Yeah,
like they got the artist in and they did a beautiful job, and then they got a bunch of other people. But I think you're right. I think it is just a different tradition.
Yeah,
that I just don't know.
Yeah, because even me, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
I was definitely like shocked by this movie.
Yeah, it was so
just in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it was so crazy, but yeah, it's just like I would love like a frame of this like on the wall. Like it's that beautiful at times that it's just like, damn, that is wonderful.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing the progression from early abstractions to this to Fantastic Planet.
Yeah.
Not that like this is the same year as Fantastic Planet, but like in terms of style and how they're attributing stillness in animation and stuff like that. Yeah. Because even in Fantastic Planet, it's not all like movement, like smooth movement yet.
That one is very jolty. Yeah. It's it almost Fantastic Planet feels like they're cutouts.
Yeah.
And
they're
it's
just
animated
dragging
that
it.
way. Yeah. It's a lot of it just has that kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing is interested in doing anything. Well, obviously, nothing is like Disney's already doing it.
Yeah.
You know, like they don't. It's not really. They're trying to do something different.
Right.
And it definitely even comes down to the movement.
Right. Because they're definitely. I mean, it's got to be. I have to assume that it's like a functional thing too. Of like, we don't want to have to draw that many frames.
Yeah.
So
budgetary.
Like movement that tells story only, and not like extraneous things. You know.
The exact opposite of Miyazaki.
Right.
Who adds so
Right.
many frames to things, and that's like the entire point is motion.
Right.
And yeah, Belladonna is
Just
very
like
different.
water.
Yeah.
Movement. Yeah.
Yeah, food and all of these
Right.
things and like crowds, and you get nothing like that in this.
Right.
It's letting all the other stuff do the talking, basically.
It's like world building, the colors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Consistent within these things.
Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. So what's your, or I guess we're just moving on.
Yeah, let's just move on, and then we can
What's
talk.
your connection with Fantastic Planet?
Fantastic La Planète Sauvage?
Because you kind of liked it and then didn't like it or something.
Yeah, so
What was your little tale?
Yeah. So Fantastic Planet for me, especially when I was I guess this would have been 10 years ago when I watched it for the first time, blew my mind. I just didn't even realize you could do things like that, and it could be that weird.
Right.
And I wasn't really going out of my way to like search for things online, like to really do that much film history stuff. So I'm not exactly sure how this ended up. I think I just had seen frames of it, and I was just like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And so I watched, and it just like blew my mind. It ended up inspiring a lot of the animation I would end up doing on my own, Salad Brain Productions. And so it, to me, was just kind of important and influential. It's all good. It was important and influential to my growth. And yeah. I when I watched it again, it just didn't hit the same. I think I just realized like, oh, okay, like it's a lot more. It's just all style. You know, the substance is not. It's pretty basic.
Yeah. Flat.
Yeah, it's not really. I could see what it's trying to say and what it wants me to think about and everything like that. But I don't know. It very predictable.
Yeah.
Pretty standard stuff.
Yeah.
I still very much like the look of it and how weird it is. But yeah, no, it just didn't hit the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of go back and you hope, and sometimes, but I still, I
Still
definitely,
cool. Yeah.
I think it's still cool. I still would recommend it.
Yeah. Good watch.
Yeah, it's got some weird things going on, but it feels more like early Abstractions than it does like Belladonna of Sadness, like in some ways. Like it's just not
simple.
really, it's not really doing all that much. But I mean, it is, but
I know what you mean, though.
Yeah, you know.
It doesn't really hit for me either.
Yeah.
Oh. Even when I saw it in theaters, I was like,
Huh?
it looks cool, but like, what is it saying? Yeah, I just like didn't really understand it.
Totally.
Yeah. It's cool, though. I mean, watching it again, I had a pretty similar reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. It's cool knowing that it inspired Salad Brain because I can totally see it.
Yeah. If you look at some of my art, it's like definitely knowing that existed was enough to give me like a boost of like, oh my God, there's a place for weird.
Yeah. The creatures and stuff. Yeah.
And then it doesn't need to make sense. And I feel that way about a lot of old painters and things like Hieronymus Bosch and like really old painters. And of just like, what's the point in even like policing how your creatures look, you know, like get weird with it. Let's make the audience kind of do a little work here.
Yeah. Push the boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
And I see that kind of thing even in like Poor Things, for example,
Yeah.
where it's just like throwing in weird stuff, kind of just to throw in weird stuff.
Right. And
I love throwing the kitchen sink of weird in things. Like, I don't think it needs an explanation. I don't think it needs all this. Like, let's just get freaky with it.
Right.
And this definitely just got freaky. It was freaky all the way through.
All the way through.
Down to the bottom. But it also just felt so 70s. And I think it was like the acting and
the message
and all this stuff. It was like, dang, this is like so of the time.
Yeah. It's odd though. You'd think that, I don't know.
You got it?
I don't know. Yeah. I just feel like I have higher expectation out of French films.
Yeah.
In terms of like story, it just felt so plain and like simple, the story.
Yeah.
I feel like it could have pushed, especially with these themes. Yeah, I feel like it could have just gone weirder in that direction too, to match the look. and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like a midnight movie. Sort
Sure.
of, like when it,
The beat.
but I don't know enough about the history to even say what direction it was
was supposed to
intended
go,
for.
yeah.
But it certainly chose one direction and
Stuck
didn't
with
even
it.
care about
All
like
the
having
other
like
things.
dialogue that was impactful in any way
Right.
or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, it's just quite odd.
Yeah.
guess,
Just a weird freaky deaky movie.
Freaky deaky.
And also the thing about all of these movies is they're all short.
Yeah.
So that's 72 minutes.
Yeah.
Fantastic Planet.
They're all like under 100 or something. Yeah.
And it makes sense because it's hard to make to actually get to time.
Like physically make these. Yeah.
So yeah, that's also another reason why these movies is easy to just check them out.
Yeah.
See what's up.
Just breeze through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's round it off
All right. Go from one crazy world to the next.
to the next,
Yeah.
jumping 50 years into the future.
Yeah. It felt appropriate to get a different animation style in
love
there
it.
too.
Yeah.
Because it feels like we have 4 different representations of what experimental animation can mean to a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And Phil Tippett's just great, right? Because he's film history to a lot of people, like
Yep.
Jurassic Park, right?
Yeah.
And like Star Wars and stuff.
Yep.
And like obviously Bay Area, because that's like ILM and all that. So
Yeah. The story goes, and there's animation to prove it, but that the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park were going to be stop motion. Like that was the original
Right.
idea.
Right.
Like because CGI wasn't really proven
it wasn't
just
there
yet.
Yeah.
But then
I've heard this.
Yeah. And so you can see some of the animation of like the raptors. It would have been very different.
Right.
So different.
Like Harryhausen kind of type of movie.
It would have definitely dated it a lot. Where you can watch Jurassic Park now and it still feels
great
because it was CGI done cinematically.
Right. And intentionally with the lighting and everything.
Exactly. Where like you can watch a Marvel movie now and it looks worse
Yeah.
than a movie from 30 years ago.
Yeah. Which is insane.
Yeah. But that just shows like where the
medium
care
has
is
gone.
and
Yeah.
what the first
yeah.
thing you think about is.
Right.
Like, they never used a green screen in Jurassic Park.
Right. That
Nothing
was
like
all
that.
shot on location
Exactly.
or something real. Yeah.
And then they'd mix in like actual
Puppetry and stuff,
like
yeah.
actual like Stan Winston. Sorry, we were talking about Marvel, so I got Stan Lee in there, but but Stan Winston's creatures, like those sorts of things. Like he made the most amazing thing, and it was a great match of things.
Yeah.
Now Phil Tippett what kind of got him also the call on that one. I mean, there's probably a lot, but he had it might have been called. I forgot what it was called, like Prehistoric something, where he made a dinosaur short film, Prehistoric Beast from 1984.
Wow.
A short 9-minute, the animation style is the exact same as Mad God. Nothing has really changed. He has something he's going for, and it's much more Jason and the Argonauts.
Right.
Over the really clean Wallace and Gromit
Right.
or Nightmare Before Christmas style.
Yeah. That's Harryhausen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is Jason and the Argonauts?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's very similar to Harryhausen than
Right. That kind of older animation.
exactly
Or
where it's
stop motion
just,
style.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's a lot more blocky, a lot more weird. And they just feel more physical. I don't know.
Right. Well, I guess with stop motion, you definitely see the fingerprints of the artist
Sometimes literally.
literally, but also just within the way they animate.
Yes.
I forget, there was some TikTok thing showing like mimicking the animation styles of different stop motion animators, and it was like different animators do have like a distinct touch to the way the movement is kind of incorporated and stuff. So yeah, that's a great point of like
Phil Tippett's thing.
Yeah. I mean, they even had like Harryhausen has a style, Phil Tippett has a style, like the Leica has a style.
Yeah.
And so just kind of
That's
saying,
interesting. So
yes, that is a great point.
and Mad God is Phil Tippett all
Right.
the way.
Right.
Very weird.
Full-blown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thrown in a little live action too. Like we got some actual like humans in it.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is very interesting.
Yeah.
Compositing that in. Yeah, it just feels so strange and weird.
Yeah. Like a really fucked up Metropolis
Yeah.
2001 combo.
Yeah. It's like, how do you just make it the most disgusting thing? Like
Right.
teeth and eyes and,
the hair.
arms and hair
Yeah.
and slime and blood.
It's so
and
gross.
It's so gross. And it's light on story and it's much
Yeah.
more visceral.
Yeah.
Not to say there isn't something, and I think that
Somewhat
out
of
of
a story.
yeah, I think there's more to think about it than even I got on my first viewing.
Yeah.
It does feel very intentional with what it's doing and trying to say. It doesn't feel like let me just throw a bunch of random stuff at the wall and see what sticks.
Right.
Like it does feel like this is the work of a madman.
Yeah.
In the best meaning of the word.
He shot this for like 30 years,
Yeah.
basically. So, or 30 or 35 or whatever.
Yeah.
So, it definitely a lot of thought goes into that, I feel like.
Yeah,
In terms of what you're doing.
Yeah, and just a lot of him in it.
Yeah.
You know,
a lot of
and-
time spent
Exactly.
with
you
the
can't,
material.
If you do it for that long, you can't possibly get your fingerprints off.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Literally.
Yeah, it's a 30-year crime scene. It's everywhere.
Crime scene. Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like a movie.
30-year crime scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
A meta stop motion movie.
Oh man, I love stop motion.
Get murdered.
I wanted to do a stop motion like thesis film in college.
Oh, nice.
But then we get all the parts and things, and we're like, this will take forever.
Yeah.
We can't possibly build the sets. We can't possibly do any of this.
you could if you tried.
Oh, sure, definitely.
You could probably do like a 5-second short.
Yeah, I could do something. Sure, yeah.
No, I know what you mean. I
yeah.
mean, these things take forever.
Forever.
Like Guillermo's Pinocchio
Yeah,
took like 4 years, and they had like 30 teams
Yeah.
around the world
yeah.
doing this stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of animation movies, I will say, Pixar movies take 4 or 5 years as well.
yeah.
So, it is just like an animation staple now is like, we're going to take, maybe not Phil Tippett long, but
Right.
we're going to take a long time to
Yeah.
do this. It does just take forever.
Spider-Verse, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And animation is unique in the way that, like, obviously storyboards are king
Yeah.
in animation.
Yeah.
And much needed. And you can watch the film even before it's finished it through storyboards and through some light editing.
Yeah.
And so
There's no improvisation.
no, every little thing is purposeful and
Yeah.
drawn and placed.
Right.
And that's just an interesting
It's own
aspect of it.
special art form. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, and I'm happy Phil Tippett went fucking crazy with it. Yeah, it has a very Lynchian quality to it.
Yeah. True.
Very strange, out there, but
Yeah. Grotesque.
feels meaningful, and it feels like it does deserve more time and attention.
Kubrickian?
Maybe?
I'd say Kubrickian.
Yeah?
A lot of Kubrickian imagery.
Yeah.
If you rewatch
We've never used the word Kubrickian, so I've never really
thought about it.
thought about Kubrick in that way. 'cause
We need a Kubrick episode.
Oh, I mean, of course. That's insane. Like, of course we have to.
Yeah. The master.
Damasta. But yeah. So,
Yeah, just like the baby in the bubble. I think I saw.
Baby in the Bubble?
Yeah.
I guess I don't remember that.
I forget where, but I remember seeing it at some point. Just a lot of little Kubrick things.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Heavy emphasis of composition and stuff.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. The creature the baby in it, like that weird, like almost worm-like baby,
Yeah.
looks almost the exact same as the baby from Eraserhead, which is David Lynch. So that connection is so strong.
Yeah.
Just kind of like the freaks are out tonight.
Lynchian and Kubrickian.
Kubrickian.
Ooh, that's a
and-
freaky mix.
That's my kind of movie.
Yeah.
That's what I want. No doubt about it.
Oh yeah, spicy.
But yeah,
Cool.
I mean, that's it, really.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what we get.
Yeah, it definitely, like, experimental animation is one of those things where you got to see it to believe it.
Yeah.
And there's only so much that we can say, especially as people who haven't. I almost certainly will come back to these movies at another point in our conversations about future animations.
Sure.
And it'll be interesting to place this in the thing.
Yeah. We'll only need to do more animation episodes. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, that's what really needs to be added to the mix.
Totally.
But yeah, so definitely watch them all. Get weird with it.
Catch them all.
Yeah, catch them all. No, that's copyrighted.
Pokemon.
No. The freaks are out tonight, and rap is rapping. We'll see you next time. Wind Reel and Print is a podcast by Salad Brain Productions. You can find us online on Instagram at Wind Reel and Print Pod. You can also find us wherever you get your podcasts. And please, if you like the show, leave a rating and review. We'll see you next time.